Now, welcome back to the class once more. Today, we will going to discuss sp3d hybridization. That is very, very important. sp3d hybridization is important because it gives the shape which is trigonal bipyramidal. So, PCL5, PF5 are very good example of that. sp3d hybridization involves the mixing of 3 p orbitals, 1 d orbitals, and 1 s orbital. So total 5 orbitals undergo hybridization. The usual d orbital will be dz square, while all 3 px, py, and pz orbitals undergoing the hybridization. The mixing of sp and d orbital gives you a trigonal bipyramidal symmetry. What is trigonal bipyramidal symmetry? The 3 atoms will form the corner. So these will be the same plane, and one bond is above and one is below the plane. So this is atom number 1, this is atom number 2, this is atom number 3, atom number 4, and atom number 5. Okay, central atom is, let us suppose the central atom is X. Okay, so central atom is surrounded by the 5 atoms. Out of that, 1, 2, and 3 are on the same plane and on the corner of the 3 equilateral triangles. The atom number 4 is above the plane at the 90 degree to the bond of X1, X3, and X2. Okay, while atom number 5 is below the plane of the triangular, and that is also perpendicular to all 3 bonds. So you can say that axial bonds are perpendicular to the equatorial bonds. Okay, you get that idea in your mind now? 3 hybrid orbitals lie in the horizontal plane, inclined at the angle 120 to each other, called as equatorial orbitals. Atom number 1, 2, and 3 are what? Are in the equatorial orbitals. Okay, are you sure about that? So equatorial orbitals overlap with the p orbital of the chlorine. So atom number 1, 2, and 3 are chlorine atoms. So p orbital of chlorine overlap with what? Equatorial orbital of phosphorus to give you 3 bonds, 1, 2, 3. The remaining 2 orbitals lie in the plane vertical at 90 degree to the plane of the equatorial bonds. Okay, so hybridization in this case will be what? So you can see here also, easily see, these are what? These are the 3 triangles. Okay, 3 atoms on the triangle. So these are 3 equatorial bonds. One is above and other is below. So this becomes what? It becomes bipyramidal geometry. Now look at that here. In this case, phosphorus is what? In this case, phosphorus has configuration 3s2, 3p3. So 3s2, 3p3. On excitement, what will happen? This electron will go to the vacant available d orbitals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 orbitals will undergo hybridization to give you what? To give you an sp3d hybrid orbital. These 5 orbitals, okay, they will give you a shape of what? A shape of trigonal bipyramidal. These orbital overlap with the p orbital of chlorine, okay, to form 5 bonds. Out of 5 bonds, 3 bonds will be equatorial and 2 bonds will be axial. How it is formed? 1, so these are 5 orbitals. So it will give you what? It will give you sp3d geometry. Now in this case, what we observe that d orbital uses dz square in this case. So intermixing of 3s, 3p, and 1d give you what? Give you trigonal bipyramidal geometry. You can see that here. Okay, so chlorine p orbital overlap with the hybrid lobes of that. So what happens? These are the hybrid lobes. Corner, this is above the plane, this is below the plane. So what happens here in this case? So you can see here red color are what? Red color are hybrid. Red color are hybrid lobes, and green color lobes are p orbital lobes of fluorine. So five hybrid lobes of look at that. I will give you by colors. This yellow color indicate what? This indicate equatorial bond, while that black color arrow will indicate you axial bond formations. Okay, so this is axial bonds, and these are equatorial bonds. Are you sure about that? Very much sure. Now look at that. I told you PF5 also has the same thing. So axial, so this is geometry. This is the triangular shape. So three sides of an equilateral triangle. So all three corner will contains one atom each. And one atom is above the plane, that is above, and one is below. So two axial positions are there. Look at that. These are three corner of the equilateral triangle. Okay, this is fourth, this is fifth. Equatorial bond angles, these are this is 1, 2, 3. Equatorial bond angles are 120, while the axial bond angles are what? They are at 90 degrees. Look at that. The three hybrid orbitals directed towards the corner of the triangle are planar, and bond angle is 120. The hybrid orbitals perpendicular to the plane of equatorial orbital are called axial orbitals, and they make an angle of 90 with the equatorial orbitals. Look at that once more. Okay, so these are what? 1, 2, 3 equatorial positions, and these are what? And these are axial positions. Are you getting that in your mind? Sure, very much sure. Now it should be taken into consideration that in case of PCl5, all bond lengths and bond angles are different from each other. Okay, now look at that here. These are three equatorial bonds, and it is X picometer. And now you have two chlorine bonds. One is above the plane, the second is below the plane. That is Y picometer. So what you observe that X is smaller than Y. What is the value of X? The value of X is 153 picometer. Y is 159 picometer. So 153 picometer is smaller than that of 159 picometer. Why it happens? The reason being that there is no repulsion between in between yellow. What are yellow bonds are there? Yellow bonds are here equatorial bonds. They are, I written that EQ, equatorial bonds. Okay, but white PCl bond, that is axial bond. So what happens? PCl bond experience repulsion from three equatorial PCN bonds. Okay, so it experiences repulsion from three, while one PCl equatorial bond experience repulsion from two axial PCl bonds. So what is happening? Magnitude of repulsion is more in what? More in what? More in case of PCl. So PCl bond experience more repulsion. So axial bond. So axial bonds experience what? They experience more repulsion. Since axial bond experience more repulsion, so in order to minimize that repulsion, the axial bond length becomes slightly elongated. I am repeating once more. To minimize the repulsion offered by the equatorial bonds, the PCl axial bonds becomes elongated, and they will take what? They will take a greater bond length in comparison to equatorial bond length. Now you can again see that 3s of what? 3s orbital of what? 3s orbital of phosphorus, 3 p orbitals and 1 d orbitals, they will overlap together to give you what? To give you these 5 orbitals. You can easily draw these 5 orbitals here. So these are the 3 equatorial, and what you have now, you have the axial bonds. Okay, you getting that in your mind now? Very much. So equatorial bond angles 120, axial bond angles 90 degree. So I am repeating once more. It should be noted that what? It should be noted that all bond angles in trigonal bipyramidal geometry are not equivalent. Okay, the equatorial bond angles 120 and axials are 90 degree. In PCl5, the 5 sp3d orbitals of phosphorus add up with the p orbital of chlorine to give you 5 PCl sigma bond. 3 PCl bonds lie in one plane and make an angle of 120. These bonds are termed as equatorial bonds. Already told to you. The remaining 2 PCl bond lying above and below the plane make an angle of 90 degree with the plane. So these bond angles are called axial bonds. These axial bond pairs suffer more repulsion, I told you already, and therefore their bond length is what? Slightly longer than that of equatorial bonds, and they are also slightly weaker. Okay, sure about that? Now look at the case of one more case of sp3d, that is SF4. Now in that case, one of the position is occupied by a lone pair. So it gives you seesaw structure. It is called as seesaw structure. Okay, lone pair always occupy equal position, always occupy equatorial position. Remember that. I am repeating once more. Lone pair always occupy equatorial position. That you have to keep in your mind. Okay. Now if I want to draw the structure of that, the structure should be like that. Okay. What about the structure here? Structure is that sulfur atom will be at the center. Okay, and these are what? These are the 3 corners of the equilateral triangle. So one of the position occupied by lone pair. Okay, now fluorine bonds are there. Due to lone pair repulsion, that bond angle is slightly not perpendicular to the equatorial bonds. I am repeating once more, they are not strictly perpendicular now. Why it is so? The reason being that due to lone pair repulsion. So due to lone pair repulsion causes what? It causes FSF bond not equal to 90. Are you getting that in your mind now? So it is seesaw structure. Seesaw structure. I already discussed this structure with you in VSEPR theory also. Now similarly, what can you do? Similarly, you have ClF3, you have XeF2, you have I3 negative. All these structures are what? They are sp3d, but ClF3 is bent T shape. It is bent T shape. Why? Because two of the equatorial positions are taken up by lone pair. Two of the equatorial positions are taken up by the lone pair. XeF2 is linear. Why? Because all the equatorial positions are taken up by what? Are taken up by lone pairs. Are you getting that in your mind now? Sure about that? So these things must be known to you now. So it is linear in shape. Now we have to take into consideration sp3d2 hybridization that will rise to the octahedral geometry. That is very, very important. Okay, SF6, SAF6 2 negative, PF6 negative, PClC negatives are very popular examples, of this geometry. Are you sure about that? So first of all, we will take SF6. We will take what? In that case, what happens? The central atom will take the position, and what can happen? The four atoms will occupy the four corners of a square like that. And then again, what happens? The one atom is above the plane, the second is below the plane. So that's how you have what? That's how you will have look at that tetrahedral geometry like that. Okay, you get that in your mind or not? Simple as that. So it has octahedral geometry. It has what? Octahedral geometry. Look at that here. Sulfur in ground state is what? Sulfur in ground state is 3s2 3p4. 3s2 3p4. Then what happens? First, this electron will excite, and second, the other electron will excite. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 unpaired electrons available to you. All 6 of them will undergo intermixing. So you can say 1s 3p plus 2d orbitals, they will intermix together to give you sp3d2 geometry. Now look at here now in this case, what happens now? Look at this once more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what happens now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These six orbitals, they overlap. They overlap together to give you a hybrid orbital, that is sp3d2. In the second excited state, sulfur undergo sp3d2 hybridization by mixing a 3s 3p and 2 3d orbitals. Sulfur forms 6 sigma bond with the fluorine atoms by using its hybrid orbitals. Each fluoride atom uses its 2pz orbital. So SF is octahedral in shape with each bond angle equal to what? With each bond angle equal to 90 degree. Equal to what? 90 degree. Now here what is happening now? Look at that. Sulfur will overlap this first bond, second bond, third, and this is fourth, fifth, and sixth. So you have formation of what? 6 bond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Are you getting that or not? Okay. So by using that, you can form what? You can form an octahedral geometry. Similarly, what you have? You have octahedral geometry like that. Are you sure now? Very much sure. So this you have to, and all bond angles in this case is 90 degree. Okay, all bond angles are at 90 degree. Look at that. So this is what? This is the square base. One bond is above the plane, other is below the plane. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, 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 and F. Fifth and sixth one. And all bond angles are what? All bond angles are 90 degree. These 4 are in the same plane. This is above the plane, this is below the plane. Okay? Are you sure about that? This is sp3d2 geometry. It is sp3d2 geometry. Now look at the case of what? Look at the case of PCl6 plus. Sorry, PCl6 negative. Now PCl5 is what? Everyone knows that PCl5 is trigonal bipyramidal. Trigonal bipyramidal. But in solid state, it exists as what? It exists as PCl4 plus and PCl6 negative. This PCl4 plus has sp3 geometry and PCl6 has sp3d2 geometry. Are you sure about that? Clearly understood now? So here what can you have? You have these 4 chlorine bonds are there and 2 chlorine bonds are there. Okay, so you have what? So you have this type of bond. Then after that what you will have? You have so this shape is what? This shape is octahedral. This shape is octahedral. So this is PCl6 negative. PCl6 minus. So you can better to write like that, -1. Similarly, if you have SF4 and you add HF to that, it will transform into H2SiF6. So SiF4, I am repeating once more, sorry. If you have SiF4, selenium tetrafluoride, and to add, you will add 2HF, it will lead to the formation of hexafluorosilicate. Okay, so in that case also silicon is central atom, and you have 4 fluorine atom at equal position and 2 fluorine atom at axial positions. Okay, but all bond angles are what? All bond angles are what? All bond angles are 90 degrees to each other. So this hybridization is also sp3d2. So SiF6 2 negative also is what? It is also sp3d2 geometry. Now take an example of what? Take an example of BrF5. This is also what? This is also sp3d2 hybridized. It is also sp3d2 hybridized. What happens in this case? That bromine has a configuration of what? 4s2 4p5. So they have availability of what? They have availability of d orbitals. So what happens in this case? The 2 electron from the p orbital, they will excited to these 2 orbitals. So you can see that one lone pair is there, and now you have what? 3 electron in p and 2 unpaired electron in d. So they will undergo hybridization. This is the excited state. This is the excited state of the bromine atom. So what you have? sp3d2. So with these, now look at that, 1 2 3 4 5, these unpaired 5d hybrid orbitals, they will form 5 bond with fluorine, while the 6th position will be taken by lone pair. Okay, so here what can we have? We have bromine 1 2 3 4 5. So all positions are occupied by fluorine. 6th position is taken up by the lone pair. Look at that. Okay, sure? Are you sure about that? Similarly, what happens? Similarly, it happens in case of XeF4. In case of XeF4, the 4 positions are taken by fluorine atoms and 2 positions are taken up by lone pair of electrons. Are you getting that in your mind now? Sure about that? So it is also sp3d2. It is also sp3d2 hybridized. Are you sure about that? Similarly, you will have what? You will have ICl4 negative. So in ICl4 negative, you have 4 position occupied by chlorine, while the 5th and 6th position is occupied by lone pair. So it is also sp3d2. Are you getting that in your mind now? So these things must be kept in your mind, that ICl4 negative, it exists as what? It exists as sp3d2. But having 2 lone pair. Having what? 2 lone pair. Are you okay with the situation now? Are you sure? So answer is very much sure. Now we will take the last case, that is the case of what? The case of sp3d3. Okay, IF7. Now in case of IF7, what can you have? In case of IF7, okay, it is written wrongly here. It is 5 actually. 3 is written there. It should be 5s. It should be 5p. This should be 5d. Okay, clearly clear. So what can happen now? In iodine, what happens? And in ground state, you have what? In ground state of iodine. In ground state of iodine, what you have? You have 5s2, 5p of 5. But what happens that two of the p electron, they are being excited, and one of the s also. Remember that this is the ground state. Now what will happen now? That the electron from these position 1, 2 and 3, they will go to occupy the d level. And now you have how many? Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 orbitals containing singly occupied electrons. So these 7 singly occupied orbitals, they intermix together to give you what? sp3d3, that is pentagonal bipyramidal. Pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. Okay, these 5 hybridized orbital contain 1 electron each, will overlap with p orbital of fluorine, with p orbital of fluorine to give you pentagonal bipyramidal geometry, and 7 sigma bonds are being formed. What happens? 7 sigma bonds are being formed here in this case. Look at that now. What is happening now? That 7, 1, I am talking about here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. These 7 sigma bonds are being formed between 7 hybrid lobe of iodine and between 7p orbital of 7 different fluorine atoms to give you this type of shape. This is pentagonal bipyramidal. This is pentagonal bipyramidal. Are you sure about that? Okay. Now you look at that picture once more. Okay. So here what you have, here you have the 5 corners of the pentagonal, and the 5 corners are being occupied by fluorine atoms. 1 fluorine above and 1 fluorine is below the plane. Okay, it is very sure. So this is very good example of sp3 d2 d3 sp3 d3 geometry.